My name is Francis Manapul. I am writer and artist for DC comic books, as well as other things, including my own comic book called Broken Hollow. Today, I'm going to create a panel for Broken Hollow using the dynamic colors of Fruit Loops for my inspiration. I became interested in comic books when I was a kid. My mom brought me to this bookstore. While she was checking out, I saw this spinner rack and I saw this comic book. And so I picked it up and I flipped through it. The art literally grabbed me, and as soon as I saw that, it was something that I had to do. A lot of the stuff that I learned was actually just from picking up comic books. I would read them, I would grab these tracing papers that they technically were using for architectural drawings, and I would trace these comic books, and from there I would just look at it and replicate the illustration, and then I realized, I should probably know how these things work. So I picked up some art books, and that's how I learned, So it was more of a learning process, I guess. Other people could say it's talent or whatever, but I like to think that the hours put in is what helped develop where I am today. Getting a chance to work on The Flash, he's my favorite character. I grew up on Superman and Batman. Those were the books that my parents bought me because they're like, they'll like this guy. And the Christopher Reeve movies, I loved Superman. But The Flash was the first thing that I said, okay, this is my hero. This is the one that I choose. When I got an opportunity to draw him with Jeff Johns, it was incredible because he's one of my favorite writers in the industry, and he taught me so much. And that was a great opportunity for me as well because it was a launching point for my writing career. All the things that I wanted to do as a kid, I was now able to do in this comic book form. All of the stories that I thought about. It's equivalent to when you were a kid and you said, wouldn't it be great if he did this? Now, what if I told you you can, and you get to do that today, you get to do that tomorrow, you get to do that next year. So it was stunning, I guess, to say the least. So Broken Hollow is my first creator-owned comic book. It's essentially about a young family who inherits an island, and it happens to be haunted. The best way to describe it is it's essentially Lost meets The Shining, but in a colorful way, because it's comic books, right? The challenge in creating my own universe is the creating your own universe part. You're like, well, this is set in the future, this is set in the past, and all of that stuff went away once I realized, okay, let's just get to the heart of what the story is about. It's a horror story, but essentially the heart of it is about a kid trying to get to know who his father was. In terms of impact, all I hope for is that maybe there's some kid that finds a spinner rack, flips through my books and says, wow, I want to do this. In that respect, additionally, what I would find really gratifying is when people read the stories and say they relate to it. Like when I get emails saying, hey, I read this issue and I went through the same thing with my family, or I went through the same thing with my friends. All of those emotions that they had that are similar to the stories that I tell, that really affects me personally, and it's probably one of the most rewarding aspects of the job, something that I never really considered when I was trying to get into comic books. So did I accomplish my goal? Yes, I accomplished my 16-year-old self's goal, but at the same time, that goal has evolved. It's changed, and that's why it's changed from me just drawing comic books to also writing them. And now it's evolved from writing for other people to writing for myself. So essentially my goal now is to try to be a better writer. I feel like art is something that has drawn readers to my work, and I'm hoping that the stories that I tell is something that will keep them there.